Well, just the arms. So this guy right here, this is our clavicle. So it's easier when you feel it. This end is kind of like blunt-ish right here, and then this is flat. So this is the acromial end. If you look, skipping ahead, but this is the acromion of the scapula. They kind of look like the same thing. Oh yeah, they do. They kind of look like alike. So this is the acromial end. They look alike. This scapula is going to go like this. This clavicle is going to go right here, like this. They kind of articulate like that.
That's the left, right?
That's right.
Oh, the right. Oh, okay.
Glenoid cavity is going to go out.
Okay.
So the acromial end here. Another way to tell the acromial end, it has this little notch. You don't need to know it. It's a conoid tubercle. You don't need to know it though. That little notch. Point it back to your skin. That's how you can tell which one is which. So you just need to know that this is the acromial end, flat, towards your shoulder, and this is the sternal end.
Okay.
So it's like one's flat this way, and then one's pushed up against the wall. So that's that. This is the scapula. So a good place to start with scapula is to find the spine of the scapula. That's going to tell you everything you need to know, basically. So spines always go dorsal or posterior, and then you know this guy right here. That's where the head of your arm is going to go. It's called the glenoid cavity. So that's going to go out or lateral. So you know this is lateral and this is posterior. You know it's going to go here. So, but I guess all of ours is going to be right anyway. So, spine of the scapula turns into the acromion. So this is the acromion here. Don't get it confused with this guy here. It kind of looks like a coracoid process. So the spine turns, if you just remember that the spine turns into the acromion, and you'll know this one's your acromion, or the acromial process, they're interchangeable, and then this is the coracoid process here. The coracoid process comes off of the glenoid cavity. So coracoid, glenoid kind of go together, so that's how you find that, and then the spine turns into the acromion. So above the spine, you have the smooth area. That's the supraspinous fossa or supraspinous fossa. Fossa is like the smooth area. And then below the spine, you're going to have the infraspinous fossa. So supra means above, infra means below. So supraspinous fossa and infraspinous fossa. And then on the back side of the scapula, you have the subscapular fossa. Because if you see, the scapula kind of sits on your back like a little bit like this. So sub is below. So technically this is below. So it's just because it kind of sits on your back. Talked about the coracoid process, the glenoid cavity, and then that's the whole region is the glenoid cavity, and then the glenoid fossa is the smooth part right here. That's where the actually go into. And then you have a supraglenoid tubercle. Remember, tubercle is like a little dubbin. So supraglenoid is above the glenoid cavity. So it's just like this little region right here, bumpy, right there. And then you have the infraglenoid tubercle, which is just right down here. And then you have the lateral border, again with where it's where the glenoid is, and then the medial border. Wait, what's the lateral border, medial border. There's that. Okay, so the humerus. This is the head of the humerus right here. And then you have the anatomical neck, which is just right underneath the head. And then the cervical neck, which is right here. So it's weird. The anatomical neck, A comes before S. So anatomical comes before surgical. And then you have the greater tubercle. This bump right here. Large bump. So here's the front of the head. And then here's the greater tubercle and the lesser tubercle. So little big bump. And then they're more rigid. The head's really smooth and these are more rigid. And then in between them you have the intertubercular groove or sulcus. It's also called the biseptal groove. So intertubercular, in between the tubercles, or biseptal. Bi like two, so it's between two things. Deltoid tuberosity, your deltoid is going to attach there. So it's this roughening right here. It's kind of like thicker than the rest of the bone. It's really rough. Whenever you have a tuberosity, it's always going to be like, if it's named for a muscle, it's going to be super rough. Like the deltoid tuberosity, it's rough. And then we looked at the ischial tuberosity, so that one's rough too, and that's where the glutes connect. Okay, so then you know that the head is going to go in, always. And then you need to know then
Oh, that's right.
the olecranon, the big hole is in the back, and then the two holes are in the front. So you know that the head's going to go in, you have two holes. Okay, so going down here, this is the medial side, and this is the lateral side. So you have the medial epicondyle right here. It's like that big inner part of your elbow that you can feel. And then you have the lateral epicondyle here. Epi is like above. So these are the condyles here, and they're just slightly like above or next to the condyles. And then this one right here is round. It looks like a ball, and you pitch a ball, so it's the capitulum. That's how I always remembered it.
I like it.
That's where the radius is going to attach to. And then this right here looks kind of like a tie or a spindle. That's the trochlea. That's where the ulna is going to attach to. So then, so here's our ulna, and it's going to attach right here. And then here's our radius, and our radius is going to attach right here.
Let's find a typical
So they fit perfectly together. So then these holes here, we've got the coracoid.
No, because it doesn't have.
No, I'm sorry, coronoids. Coronoid fossa right here. I think about it, I get really annoyed when people try to take my blood, and that's right here. So it's coronoid. Because there's lots of, we have the coracoid right here. You have a coronoid in your jaw, and you have coronoid right here. So the things that annoy me are my jaw, because it acts up, and then people try to take my blood. So coronoid. Fossa, and that articulates with the coronoid process, which we'll go over in a second.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm trying to see.
No, that's so this would be thoracic. Yes, that's very good.
And then the radial fossa right here. You can barely even feel it. It's a tiny little hole where the radius is going to go in here. And then the big one on the back is the olecranon fossa. And that's where our elbow, when we straighten our elbow, that's where our elbow goes. So it makes a lot of sense when we see these things together. We'll go over the ulna next. Okay. So the ulna looks like a U right here, U for ulna. So this big guy back here, that's your elbow. That's called the olecranon.
Is it kidney shaped?
They call it olecranon process too, but typically it's just olecranon. And in the front, you have the coronoid process. And so those are typically, and this is the trochlear notch. That U is the trochlear notch. Trochlear notch goes onto the trochlea. The olecranon goes into the olecranon fossa. And the coronoid process goes into the coronoid process. So they're all named together. So that's good. Then you have the styloid process of the ulna. That's it. That's it. That's the ulna. And the radius is, you have the head, which goes to the capitulum. The neck, which is just the skinny part underneath the head. And then we have the radial notch right here. I'm sorry, not radial notch. The radial tuberosity. Excuse me. Tuberosity is the thickening of the bone. So the radial tuberosity. I'm just trying to think if I've skipped anything.
Oh, this is the, okay.
I think I did. Okay, so radial
This
tuberosity.
is the superior.
So on the ulna, we have the radial notch right here.
This is inferior.
And that's because the radius is going to attach
Yeah, this
right there
is
to the ulna.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We have the radial notch of the ulna, and then down here on the radius, you see how that kind of, they go together? Right where it goes together, we have the ulnar notch of the radius.
And it's opposite of the styloid process.
Yeah,
Okay.
opposite of the styloid process. So they both have styloid processes.
Okay.
I think I kind of went out of order with that. Sorry.
That's okay.
So, humerus, head, anatomical net, surgical net, greater tubercle, lesser tubercle, intertubercular root or sulcus, deltoid tuberosity,
No, the atlas doesn't have a
medial condyle, medial epicondyle, excuse me,
because it doesn't have
lateral epicondyle. The medial condyle right here is called the trochlea, and the lateral condyle is called the capitulum. Right up for the capitulum, we have the radial fossa. Right up from the trochlea, we have the coronoid fossa. And on the back side, this is the trochlea, we have the olecranon fossa. It's the big one. Ulna, trochlear notch, right here, this U-shaped thing. Olecranon process, or just olecranon. Coronoid process. Radial notch, styloid process. And on the radius, we have the head, the neck, the radial tuberosity, and the ulnar notch, and the styloid process. So then just so they all articulate together. This is pretty cool. Alright, that's that.